I always take a picture of like the people I'm with.
I like that. That's it.
It's not the beer, it's the place.
Fuck yeah.
Do I look at you or look at that? How would you like it?
I think we're just gonna. It's like we're sitting in a car and like we're driving forward and like sometimes we're looking forward and sometimes we're talking ahead. Don't trip, dude. You got it. You're fucking natural. You're so good with
I just want to do it how you want it. Fire away.
All right, what up, guys? I got my man Zack Staub. Is that how you say it? Staub?
Stop, baby.
All right, what up, guys? I got my man Zack Staub with me today. We are out in downtown Yankton, hanging out with the boys. Brady Calkins just won today, so we're out helping him celebrate. And I was talking to Zack, and he was one of the coolest freaking guys I've ever met in my life. His story was epic. And even though we weren't really planning on banging out an interview today, I figured let's just run it. We're here now. So,
spur of the moment, baby.
Thanks for kicking it with me, dude. Cheers. And I guess let's just take it all the way back to the beginning with getting out of high school. You said you traveled all across the U.S., a bunch of crazy stuff, wound up in Hawaii. You've been a club pro before. Now you're out here on the Dakotas. Like, I couldn't even keep up with everything you said. You've done a lot at the ripe young age of 26. So maybe just start with like the first steps outside of high school, where your head was at and what you did.
I've always been an adventurer. So right out of high school, I went to South Carolina, Coastal Carolina, go Shots. Played golf down there for a bit and got my PGA. And every summer you have to do an internship. So I did 2 internships in Boston, and then if you really wanted to, be in the PGA, I said, I'm gonna spread myself out. So I did 2 in Jersey, one in Atlantic City, and one in northern Jersey, West Orange. So I spent about a year and a half in Jersey, graduated, moved to Florida, got my PGA, and then figured I was completely done with golf. Everyone figures they give up on something in life here and there. So I said, my uncle lives in Hawaii, so I wanted to move to Hawaii for a bit, just go for a month, clear my head, almost kind of like a rehab. And moved to Hawaii, and my first day there, my uncle looked at me and said, hey, why are you leaving? I was like, I gotta start life, like everybody does. You finish college, you go to high school, you go to college, then you get a job, and then you move on. You get a girlfriend, you get married, you get a kid. No. He looked at me and said, why are you leaving? I said, I gotta start life. He's like, so you're single. This was back in 2017, 2018. You're single, you brought your golf clubs, you can play year round, you're single, and you're in a place that basically he can, I lived on a kind of an acre of land where I can, I do work, I can sleep there type thing. So I canceled my plane ticket, and he allowed me to stay I ended up staying for 4.5 months. And my routine was yoga in the morning, I would work in the afternoon at Ko'olina, come back, do Aikido, because he was an Aikido master, and then make a salad. I became a vegetarian, and then go to bed. I did that for 6-7 days a week for 4 months, and it just changed your whole life. So then I figured, hey, golf is my thing again. Became the first assistant in Cape Cod, and then I wanted to keep the West Coast going. So I looked for jobs somewhere on the West Coast, and it actually came out of nowhere. My friend Dan Colton used to work at the Rich Club where I work. So he said, hey, we have a job opening, and it worked like magic. It was actually really cool how it happened. So I got a job just like that down in Southern California in La Quinta. So I was then, for 2 years, first assistant in Cape Cod and assistant down in La Quinta. So I got to travel the whole U.S. I've been to 48 states in my car, except 2, Alaska and Missouri, I think it is. No, Mississippi. I haven't been to Mississippi. It's down there. I haven't been there. And then met a lot of these guys, hence here, fast forward. I've always played golf. I'm a lefty. Shout out to the lefties. And I've always played good golf throughout my whole career. So being a PGA Class A and enjoying the game of golf since I was 10. I was like, I'm going to do something I can't do in 5 years. So I took the leap, quit my job in Boston, hung out with some of the guys that were on the tour, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go do this. Knew some really awesome, genuine guys that had some money to give. They gave, they believed in me. And I came out here and played golf. Here we are a year later, and I just made 2 for 2 cuts, baby.
2 for 2 cuts, baby. Let's go.
Top 10, 68 out of your face.
Off to a hot start. Let's freaking go. I'm happy for you, man.
You
played last year here as well, or was this your first season?
Played last year.
All of
COVID cut down the season short, so we played July and August every single day from July 1st until August 31st.
Sheesh.
It was unbelievable. I played every event. It cost me $11,500. Not all of it was mine, thank God, but it was a hell of an experience. And coming back, I mean, I know everybody. It's great.
That's the reason that my initial introduction to Zack came on so strong, is because he's really close with Kyle. Kyle is like my best friend out here and pretty much in life as well. Mr. 59, Kyle Karzisi. So any friend of Kyle is a friend of mine. And yeah, Zack's seems to be the pedigree so far. Holy shit. So you mentioned stopping in Vail on the way out here to kick it with one of the guys that's been a part of your journey and a part of funding it. You said you were sitting on the patio having a couple drinks and talking. And was he the one that brought up the whole journey and destination phrase, or was that someone else? What did he bring up that you said was so profound?
My dad has always said it's the journey, not the destination.
Right.
So I guess the idea is, when growing up, you play golf, you want to win, get as much money as you can, be on the PGA Tour. But it's the journey getting there that is actually the experience and not the destination. So when I was hanging out with one of my friends in Vail, he said, if you had all the money in the world, if you had every dime in the world, technically everything is free, right? You want to go skiing? Okay. Get in a jet, go skiing. Okay, you're done skiing. Now what? I want to go jet skiing in Bahamas. Okay, get in a jet skiing in the Bahamas. Now what? There's never a satisfaction of, okay, yeah, you're doing really cool things with all this money. You can have a lot of friends doing it and all that stuff, but majority of the time, if you have all that money, all those people are there because you can allow them to do that, right? So he tells me, he's like, how do I become a 2 handicap? I was like, he said, you can hire all the best pros in the world, you can hire everyone, they can help you to be that 2 handicap, even a 1, but it's you, the person, that has to desire and inspire yourself to actually be that 2. It can't just be fun,
Yeah.
So that, when he told me that, it was kind of like jumping backwards in time. I was like, holy shit. Like, I used to think, no, I want this, I'm gonna get it. My dad always say it's the journey, not the destination, So that's when he told me that story, it was really cool.
I love that. So you drove out here like the rest of the guys, be out here all summer, took that 3-day road trip on. Okay. And then after this is done, you go back home and you're still going to continue having a full-time job throughout the winter as an assistant pro, you think?
So my goal is...
Or Q school, or what do you think?
If I play... Right now I'm trending upwards. Got a top 20, top 21, top 10. And I continue to get in the top 10, top 5, top 3, win a couple. The idea is, it's not the money that would push me forward, it's the fact that I'm playing against some of the best players. I wouldn't necessarily quit my job, but because I love my job, but it also inspires me to, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. Is this the next step? So the goal is, if I play very well going into the end of the season, I will consider the odds of Q school and then figure out where to go from there.
Have you played Q school before?
I have not.
Dang, when did you turn pro? Are you fresher on the pro scene?
When I graduated, when I became a Class A, I became a professional. I lost my understanding.
Got it, but not necessarily a touring pro right away. You just had to have that classification.
Yeah. So I have my Class A 8 assistant pro, and then technically, actually no, not technically at all. A14 is your PGA professional, right? On your touring pro. So So the idea would be turn from an AA to your PGA golf club.
Got it.
On tour.
Wow. What's the day-to-day with that job? What are you doing? Are you running tournaments at the club? Stopping with members, taking out potential members, or what exactly?
Our day-to-day in La Quinta is we have 3 different positions. We have starter, on course, and late starter. And then occasionally if we have our tournaments, someone is directed or assigned to be the spearhead that tournament. So we run tournaments, like 4-day events for the members, member guests, 1-day events, men's days, ladies' days. I run the junior golf. I started the junior golf program down there. I am EDM certified, something like that, by PGA coach. So I started the entire junior golf program down at my club, which was really cool because I'm great with kids.
Yeah.
And that was, the bonus of it. Yes, the money was great, but I got to see 2 hours once a week of all these kids coming out of the woodwork and just try their best, playing the best game that ever they done.
That's awesome.
So that's America's answer right there. That's America's answer. They trained me on that one.
Make them proud. Do you have much time to practice during a normal work week?
Not necessarily, no. When we're so because of COVID, we actually upped our rounds like 10,000 rounds. So, and we have 2 golf courses. So we did from December till April. I worked mostly 6 days a week, and I worked an average of like 50 hours a week. Which is, it sounds like a lot, which it is, but some weeks I'm there sun up to sundown because I'm teaching extra hours, or I'll get an extra day off, but I'll come in to play golf, but I won't have any time to like actually sit down and practice because the days off that you get, I'm not going anywhere near work, you know? So, and it's also freezing that time.
Yeah.
But when it starts warming up, yeah, I'll play some.
Gotcha.
But this is the time of year where I actually practice.
That's even more impressive that you're playing well then if you didn't really even get a whole winter season to grind.
See golf ball, hit golf ball.
Easy game, right?
Easy game.
I love it, dude. What are some of your, let's see, like earliest memories with golf? Are you high school golfer, college golfer, where'd you go to college? Was it in your family? Did your dad teach it to you?
My dad plays golf. I started off with 18 strokes, like any 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And my dad started me off. I'm a lefty, so I couldn't get his hand-me-down, so I got my own set. It was pure golf. There were shovels, steel, so I had to learn how to hit the shovels. And I played with a couple friends when I was between like 10 and 12, and I figured I'd started beating them. Like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. So then the day that I realized that I was actually good at the game was my dad got his first genuine eagle, par 5, Sagamore Springs in Boston.
Okay.
And he looks at me, he's like, yeah, like I got an eagle, beat that. I was like, hey Dad, I got a birdie net eagle, we tied. He looked at me, he's like, that's it, no more strokes, you're done. I was like, wait, I just got a natural birdie net eagle, I want my eagle. He's like, all right, then make an eagle. And then ever since then, it was just kind of that drive to do better. And then I played all 4 years. I made it as a freshman on my high school team. Hold the most birdies in a row for 9 holes. So I made it all 4 years. We won states my junior year. I came in 3rd in the state junior year and 7th in the state my senior year.
Damn.
And then went to school at Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
Played on their club team because they were not hiring at the time. So that's where I kind of fell on the PGM side. So it was the business portion and the club team side. So I would win all the events on the other side with like 72, 71.
Yeah.
Because all the guys that were doing it for business. I was there as a player who then kind of got incorporated to the business. So it's kind of, I did the opposite. All the guys that did the PGM at the time were going in for business and then got better at golf. I came in for the golf and then got better at business. So I was coming in, winning all the shop credit, getting new golf clubs, new bags, golf balls, all that stuff. And these guys are like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what are the means of running a golf tournament like? now it's Golf Genius. Back then it was you gotta learn calligraphy and
Dude, seriously.
you gotta count, like all that crap. But it was really cool. It's an interesting story when I say that.
Yeah. No, it is. That's why I wanted to ask you some questions right now. I was like, man, this is an interesting guy, and that's half of why I think it's so cool to be out here is to hear all these different stories. So, I just had a question on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I was gonna ask, like, take me through a little more of the technical side of things. Like, what's your process surrounding competitive golf, preparation for it? Do you have morning routines? Do you have anything on the workout or nutrition side, or are you just more of an artistic player that just tees it up and golfs your ball and doesn't really trip on any of that stuff, or somewhere in the middle of that?
So golf is like a gear for me.
Okay.
I can kick it into gear when I need to, and when I kick it into gear and it doesn't actually go into gear, then I have to be mentally there. So in order for me to be mentally there, it's my dad growing up and both my parents were always like, hey, if you fall. I'm sorry. The best quote I ever heard was from Batman. It's like, why do we fall, Bruce? So you learn how to pick yourselves back up, right? It's my senior quote.
I love it.
So every time that I would get a bogey, I would get mentally down, all that stuff. But the time you have from, you make a bogey and you go to the next tee, why did you fall? How do you pick yourself back up? So just playing day by day, it was that mentality that would get me through each round. And I don't have any health things that I kind of do. I'm still kind of like a vegetarian pescatarian. I eat fish. Health, I kind of got back into some meat here and there, as you can see. But the routines of it is basically I started stretching. Obviously, again, still do yoga here and there to get to different portions of the swing that you need to get to. Because if you come into a round and you are not reaching parts of the swing that you need to, you can't get to that gear in order to perform. So then when your brain says, hey, why am I hitting this ball wrong? You start doubting yourself. Oh, maybe my swing starts sucking. Why is it sucking? It's like, no, because you didn't stretch. You're not activating the glutes. Like, there's a reason why you're not hitting the ball like you used to.
Yeah.
So my routine would be now it's stretching in the morning for like at least 15, 20 minutes, releasing the hips. Mine's biggest thing is the hips. And that's all 4 exercise. And then it's when you get on the golf course, it's the quote that always hit me, I think it was Lee Trevino. It's the golfer that gets to the game the fastest wins. Majority of the time. So for me, it's when I get on the golf course, it's that first shot, am I on my game? I don't think of it like, am I on my game? Shit, I'm not on my game. What do I do? It's, no, am I on my game? No, you're not? Okay, take a breath. You're on your game now. Hit the shot. You don't hit the shot well? Okay, hit the next shot. It's not, I have to birdie this, I have to birdie that, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, if you birdie every hole, then the game's boring, right? You hit every fairway, every green, you 2-putt. That's boring as hell. I hit it under a tree today, punched out, it was a top, next to the car path, hit this flying lie short of a green, and made it's probably like 40-foot bomb. If it didn't hit the cup, it was off the green. And I was like, all right, sweet, birdie. Bogey, birdie, whatever, it happened, right? I wasn't excited, I wasn't sad, but the routine of it is